Before this video gets started proper, I just want to give a quick thanks to Dragon Empress and my good friend Cotton Candy Llama for these amazing pieces of fan art from Cotton Candy Llama, this amazing piece of fan art of her, myself, and my good friend Akitsuki Plays for our Sonic Forces stream, and Dragon Empress for this amazing rendition of my avatar. You guys are great, and thank you so much for this art. Honestly, it's really flattering. Now then, on to the video. Hello everybody, Gatling Golduck here, and yeah, it's been a while since I've made a proper video. I feel like I say that a lot, and really that's mostly my fault. If you guys want a bit of an update as to where I've been, you can check out my video before this, Friendly Neighborhood Update video. I don't want to spend too much time on that because I kind of want to focus so that I can put content out since you guys have been without it for so long. But today, I'm going to be talking about a subject that is very near and dear to my heart. Actually, the reason that I started this channel in the first place was to talk about this game. A franchise that is very, very important to me. It's very close to my heart. Sonic the Hedgehog. In its most recent platforming installment, technically speaking, I don't think the DLC for Sonic Mania counts. Sonic Forces. What a disaster this game is. This game's story is absolutely abysmal, and as a diehard Sonic fan, I'll tell you right now that this game, I've only played part of it, and you can actually check out that gameplay on the stream archive on my channel of the Sonic Forces stream, where I played the game with my friend Akitsuki Plays and Cotton Candy Llama. It was a lot of fun. We made some memes if you want the context for the video title, it'll actually be explained there. Yes, I'm plugging my own stuff. It's gonna be a great inside joke, I'm telling ya. Alright then, now that that's out of the way, let's get into it, because I know that Sonic Forces is a subject that has been rightfully talked to death. This game is a disaster in every sense of the word. But I feel like as a Sonic fan who actually, I don't know, because writing is my specialty. Critical analysis of writing, that's my specialty. Because, this story has been torn apart, obviously. I'm not saying I'm the first one to do this. I just feel like I can actually add something to the conversation in this aspect. Because, I feel like I know more about this franchise than any one individual reasonably should. But here we are. Anyway, let's not waste any more time and get into it with the Sonic Forces rant. And you know what, I figured, hey, what better way to start this off than with the episode Shadow DLC, huh? Because technically it happens in chronological order, so I might as well start with the DLC epilogue. Why not? I'm not even 2 seconds in and we've already got a continuity issue here. Because, like Rouge is saying in this exchange with Shadow, we've got a report from the Intelligence Division. Okay, so in the Sonic the Hedgehog canon, with air quotes, because the canon is used very loosely in this franchise, Shadow and Rouge both work for an agency called GUN, the Guardians of United Nations, I believe that's what it stands for. But, funny thing about that is that, in the Sonic the Hedgehog lore, particularly in this game, GUN is nowhere to be seen. The agency themselves is nowhere to be seen, yet this line directly implies that Rouge got information from their commanding officers. And if they're not taking orders from GUN, then who are they taking orders from? And if they are taking orders from GUN, then where the hell are they during this entire story where Eggman supposedly takes over the entire world? You'd think the government army would want to get involved when a madman is wiping over the earth with his tyrannical rule. You'd think that that'd be kind of a priority, but I guess not. And that's another issue with this game as a whole. It's just the world building of Sonic the Hedgehog is so inconsistent. It's a grander issue with the series, but it's something that's extremely highlighted here. Because, in this game, you visit Green Hill Zone, and Chemical Plant, and the Mystic Jungle. just like a bunch of places that you have been to in previous games, to be fair. But you've also been to literally countries of like different, like you've been to like different countries in Sonic Unleashed. Like there's more than just Green Hill and Chemical Plant. There's like, what's the name of the, I don't know, I don't even remember the name of the continents in Sonic Unleashed, but you get my point. World building is just not a thing in the Sonic games, and when it is, it doesn't last. Good God, I cannot get over what this franchise has done to Shadow. Because just this one line right here where Rouge basically said, like, one of Shadow's, like, close friends, E123 Omega, basically, Rouge says to him, hey, why don't you go check out this Eggman base? Omega's already on his way there. You can meet up with him. I'm more than enough on my own. I'll handle things my way. As if to say that he couldn't use the help or wouldn't appreciate Omega's assistance. Like, Omega and Shadow, they butt heads, sure, but they appreciate each other's camaraderie and respect each other's strength. This just makes it seem like Omega's like a waste of time to him. And just, this franchise has just been on a continuous rampage to ceaselessly, completely and utterly destroy Shadow's character, because it all started, I believe, with his spin-off game Shadow the Hedgehog, back when they thought it was a cool idea to slap a gun in his hand and just make Shadow say damn and hell a lot, like, I am Shadow the Hedgehog. I and only I know what is best. With these Chaos Emeralds, I will destroy this damn planet. This is who I am. Yeah, that's actually a line in Shadow the Hedgehog. That game's a mess of its own. It's just like, it's like, I don't understand why they continue to embrace this idea that Shadow is just a selfish, self-centered, egotistical prick. Like, he's not even a good person anymore. He's just an asshole to everyone. I don't know, maybe that's Rouge rubbing off on him, but hey, it's just like, back in Sonic Adventure 2, Shadow was a misguided individual who believed that, like, he was an amnesiac, operating under the assumption that his closest friend's dying wish was to get revenge on humanity for killing her. That's heavy shit. And the moment that Shadow realizes that he was mistaken in this idea, he immediately goes in to fix what he did wrong and almost dies in the process. He's not an evil person. He's a hero. He's misunderstood and misguided. He's not evil, but for some reason, Sega and Sonic Team continue to perpetuate this idea. Because, like, it's gotten even worse ever since Sonic Boom. Because Sonic Boom just had Shadow be this overly overt, like, asshole, like, douchebag, and everything he said is in this really uptight, condescending voice. Your shoddy craftsmanship brings shame to hedgehog kind, and for that, you shall perish. I just cannot get over how, like, this Sonic the Hedgehog franchise has just gone so downhill with its characters. It's just like, Sonic Team either doesn't know what they're doing with their characters anymore, like doesn't know how to write them anymore, or they just don't care. Either way, it's just like, they just forgot the core values of what made Shadow who he is. Like, and it's just frustrating to me. And it just shows in such small ways like this, where he just says, like, I can do things my own way. As if he doesn't, like, appreciate Omega's help. He doesn't appreciate his friendship. It's just like, but why? Why would you do this? And it's just like, I mostly blame the internet, because it's been meme culture for such a long time that Shadow was an edgelord, but I honestly can't exactly blame them for that, since Shadow the Hedgehog was a thing. I think before meme culture, I'm not sure, because it was, I think, 2004 when Shadow the Hedgehog came out. I could be wrong. But ultimately, it is. I do partially blame the internet because they've also helped perpetuate this idea that Shadow's just an edgy prick, and it hasn't helped because Sega's like, people seem to like it when Shadow's just just like an edgy, which isn't even a word that has a defined term, but whatever, just an edgy asshole that swears and has a gun. Let's do that. Let's just make him hate everyone and everything. Because because a character that's entire motivation in the first place was out of love for his dead best friend. Yeah, it totally makes sense to just make him an asshole that hates everything that breathes. Fucking hell. And this scene just makes it even worse. Let's ignore Infinite for a second. We'll get to it. Don't worry, I'll get to him. But I just want to focus on Shadow right now because of how horrible this game makes Shadow out to be. Like, he's been bad before, but Jesus Christ. This scene right here, see this dialogue? You destroyed my squad. It's just like, it's not shown and it's not told directly because this is a kid's game, obviously, but because Infinite, basically, he was a mercenary, he was the leader of a mercenary group, and the mercenaries were working for Eggman for some reason, and then Shadow shows up to the Eggman base that they were guarding, and it is directly implied in this line when he says, "You destroyed my squad," because they never show up again. We never see them to begin with, but they never show up or are ever referenced again in this story. It is directly implied in this scene that Shadow killed them. Jesus Christ. Just like, why would you word it, "You destroyed my squad," and make it seem like Infinite is on a path of vengeance against Shadow if it wasn't that? Like, seriously, oh my god. Just like, let's send Shadow back to Shadow the Hedgehog, because that game was so well received. Let's make him a killer again. Why not? If this cutscene does not display how evil Shadow has become in the recent Sonic games, I don't know what will. Because, so, Shadow the Hedgehog beats the shit out of Infinite, calls him worthless, and then fucks off. This is Shadow the Hedgehog. Murders Infinite's team, beats the shit out of him, calls him worthless, and then he leaves. This is our hero, Shadow the Hedgehog, ladies and gentlemen. The man who was manipulated by Dr. Eggman and Dr. Gerald Robotnik to do their bidding. And the guy who was willing to die to fulfill the promise of the friend that he loved so much. He would beat the shit out of people who are, like, doing a job, supposedly kill them. This isn't directly said, but it is very obvious that this is how Infinite lost his eye, because we see him, like, holding his face, even though for some reason they don't show Infinite's face in this cutscene. Shadow beats the hell out of him, basically ruins his eye, says he's worthless and never to show his pathetic face around him again, and then he just leaves. Holier than thou, standing over him, calling him pathetic. This is our hero, ladies and gentlemen. I'm gonna draw a reference to some good actual Shadow the Hedgehog writing, because this is the Shadow that I miss, because, for those of you who don't know that it actually exists, there is a Sonic the Hedgehog comic book series that was being published by Archie Comics, and for a long time the writers had no idea what they were doing, but in the later years they actually had some honest-to-goodness, really good character writing in there. And one of my favorite sort of mini arcs was where basically Shadow the Hedgehog ends up battling against Metal Sonic, one of Eggman's go-to lackeys. And Shadow basically tries to reason with Metal's, like, mechanical mind, his, like, thought process. And Shadow basically tells him, "Metal Sonic, you're a living weapon, like me. But you're not an ordinary robot. You have the capacity to think for yourself. Don't let the doctor use you like he did to me." He was compassionate towards Metal. He didn't want to destroy him until he didn't have any other choice, because Metal refused to listen. And then even then, it wasn't Shadow that destroyed him. It's just like, Shadow isn't evil. He's like misguided, and he wants to make atonement for those past mistakes. Like, and it shows in this scene with Metal Sonic, because he offers Metal Sonic a life beyond being a tool for Dr. Eggman. But here, in Sonic Force's world, we need Shadow to be an asshole. We just need him to kill people. We need him to be merciless, evil. It's just like... It frustrates me to no end that Sonic Team continues to perpetuate this idea of Shadow. This is who he is. And it's just so damn frustrating. I am not weak. This is Infinite's motivation, people. This is Infinite's motivation. Our main villain. This is his motivation. Not that Shadow killed his team. Not that. No, it's because Shadow called him weak. He just called him pathetic, and Infinite's like, alright, that's it, Eggman, plug the Phantom Ruby right into my ribcage, I'm gonna murder the hell out of him, and then get a hate boner for Sonic for some reason. What? It's just, Infinite is a garbage villain. There's just nothing substantial about him. Like, not even his backstory, because, like, I get it, they made tie-in comics published by IDW in order to try to fix this god-awful story, but it still wasn't enough. Because all they told us is that Infinite was a mercenary, leading a mercenary group, which we already knew in this game. All they showed us is how he and Eggman met. That's literally it. That's all we get for Infinite as a character. He's just got a serious inferiority problem, where if he gets called weak, he turns into a murdering psychopath who's gonna wipe his rage over the fucking planet. This is our villain. He's a cryny, whiny bitch with an inferiority complex, and it's so painful to watch, because they try to play it off like he's some sort of hardened, serious badass. You may call me Infinite for the brief moments that remain to you. But in reality, he's a pushover. The boss fights with him aren't even hard. You can kick his ass next week from Tuesday, and then the next cutscene, he'll knock you out. And he's like, oh, but I won't kill you, because... fuck you. Bye. It's just like... And also, again, coming back to that thing where he hates Sonic for some reason, it's just like, he and Sonic barely interact. Like, we have no idea what their history is, or even if they have any history, because Infinite just has this thing where he's like, not even Sonic will be able to defeat me. When realistically, he should have it in for Shadow. But for some reason, he doesn't spend like every waking moment hunting Shadow down to murder him, and instead makes a bunch of fake Shadows. Like, but why? It's just like, this is villainy 101. Like, our main hero and main villain do not have a connection. There's nothing there. There is no conflict. It's just villain of the week. Like, oh, look who it is. It's Sonic the Hedgehog. He's gonna get in my way, and I'm evil, so I can't have that. I'm gonna kill him. And then Infinite's just dead and gone. I'm getting way ahead of myself here. It's just, Infinite is such a terrible character. There's nothing about him. He's got a cool theme song. He's got a decent design. That's it. There's no story. There's no motivation. There's no, like, any kind of conflict other than he's evil and so he's gonna wipe out the planet. Just like, okay, fucking... I hate Infinite so much. Also, this is just a funny little detail. Shadow tells Infinite, never show your pathetic face around me again. And Infinite submits to his request by putting on a mask. Wow, really showing that he's not gonna bully you. Just like, what, did you put on that mask because you got your feelings hurt? What? No! Shut up! This mask is cool! It's like it's like fucking Kylo Ren. Jesus Christ. Also, in this game, the way they convey time skips is with these lame-ass texts that just crawl into the screen like, hey, just so you know, we're skipping time, and this is how we're gonna address it 1 month before Eggman took over the world. Just, there you go. I've only become what I am because of you. But for some reason, I'm going to have it in for Sonic for the entire game. Because he's the main character. So that means I have to hate him. I'm such a great villain, can't you tell by my badass helmet and cool voice? He really is like Kylo Ren, he's just a pussy bitch. Also, I'd like to point out that after episode Shadow, Infinite and Shadow never interact again. Like, there is no scene between the two of them after this ever in the game. So, Infinite is the way he is because of Shadow, and he then just leaves, and Shadow just disappears because reasons. And also, the Phantom Ruby, what an anomaly. Like, the Phantom Ruby is this crystal that Infinite has in his chest that gives him his power, right? So, how the Phantom Ruby, the explanation for how it works, it doesn't even make any sense. Because, like, at least with the Chaos Emeralds, like, the way that they worked was, like, they're basically a battery that give you, like, basically they're like like a limitless energy source is basically what they were. Like, they have different forms of energy flowing inside them that can be tapped into in different ways. They show you how that can be tapped into only by certain individuals that are acutely attuned to chaos energy. And it certain requirements are needed to be met in order for Chaos Emeralds to do what they do. But for the Phantom Ruby, he just slaps that thing on his chest and suddenly reality bends to his will. What? Like, the way they explain how it works is that it's virtual reality, but it's real. What? So is it real or not? Like, does the Phantom Ruby make real constructs, or are they fake? It's so confusing, because, like, the Phantom Ruby just, like, has little to no explanation, and when it does get explanations, it doesn't even make sense. Like, the Phantom... And how Eggman even came across the Phantom Ruby to begin with is such a, like... Again, this isn't in the game, it's in the comic tie-in, which doesn't count, frankly, for fixing the story to the game. But Eggman just finds it, like, outside of his base. It's just there. It just appeared. Like, that's literally it. And it's just like, oh my goodness. It's on par with the frickin' Time Eater from Sonic Generations, where Eggman was traveling through space and he just happens to come across this vortex that lets him harness this mechanized monster that can flow through time and space, and then time is at his will to control. It's just like, okay, it's lazy writing. Good job, fellas. Also, episode Shadow portrays Infinite like he's an insane person, and in the actual game of Sonic Forces, he's extremely calm and collected and just, like, intelligent seeming, sort of. But here, he's just like, ha 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 ha, evil villain laugh, ha. That's just like, oh, cool, buddy, cool. And with episode Shadow over, we cut to the main game, and Eggman is talking like he built Infinite, which is clearly not the case. And there's also dialogue later on in the game where the characters talk like this must be where Eggman created Infinite. He didn't create him. He's not like Shadow. He's not like a created experiment thing. He's an actual, like, being that was given, like, this ridiculous amount of power because he had Phantom Ruby juice injected into his veins. It's just like, alright, sure. It's made very clear to me that the writers had no idea what they were doing with Infinite. They just wanted to make a cool, edgy looking villain that was just like, it seemed like an unstoppable force, just for the sake of generating some sort of like hype. And like because to sort of focus on Infinite again for a minute, like villains are some of my favorite characters to talk about when it comes to fiction. Just talking about them like as their psyche and like as their presence, stuff like that. Like some of the like great villains that you can think of like off the top of your head, like Darth Vader or like Thanos from Avengers Infinity War. What's made clear about them from the get-go? They're made clear as a threat, is what they are. They are made, like, their power is not questioned because we see their power on display. We see how skilled they are. And, like, they're, from the very beginning of their respected movies, they are established as very threatening individuals by exhibiting these traits of power in the very beginning of their respective movies. Like in A New Hope, we see Darth Vader commanding the stormtroopers, we see him strangling rebels, just like, we see his intimidating presence and his, like, dominant force. And in Infinity War, like, when that film starts, we see Thanos, like, he beats the Hulk in one-on-one combat. He is like about to crush Thor's skull. He kills Loki and Heimdall. Like, it's made very clear from the get-go that both of these characters, like, their positions, like, both of their, like, motivations are made very clear. Like, what they're doing here, why they're here. Like, whereas if you compare this to Infinite, why is he with Eggman? Oh, he was a mercenary that raided an Eggman base once, and Eggman saw that he was talented and hired him. Cool. And then Infinite gets the hell beat out of him, and his squad supposedly dies, and then he's like, you know what, sign me up for that genetic mutation shit. And it's just like, that's why Infinite's here. That's why he's in this room right now. And then it'll come to the point where he's going to confront Sonic, and he's going to be all like, oh, but I hate Shadow, but you know what, that's blue guy over there, fuck that guy, I'm going to kill him too. That's just like, that's all we got for Infinite. Like, he's not a threat. He's not intimidating. He's a pushover. He's a weakling. Even in his boss fights, he's not hard to beat. And he doesn't even use, like, it's not even really him that beats Sonic. It's like his shadow clones of Shadow, Chaos, Metal Sonic, and Alien Dude from Sonic Lost World. I know his name. I just don't care. It's just, he's not even established as a very dominant force. He just sidesteps Sonic a couple times, kicks him like once or twice, and then that's all we get. And it's only like a 30-second scene. And he doesn't, it's not even something that the player gets to experience, because when they fight Infinite later on, we just run in a straight line and then hit him a few times and he's done. Just like translating a villainous threat from gameplay to like actual character, like you can do that. You can establish a character as a dominant force and also have them not be a ridiculous joke when it comes to gameplay. Like, I'm struggling to think of an example off the top of my head, but like you could make really interesting boss fights out of that for Infinite. Like, show how powerful he is and actually test the player's skill, but Sonic Forces is targeted for babies, so I guess we can't do that. The boss means business this time, as opposed to when he doesn't. I'm just saying this so that we can emphasize this is a big deal, pretending that this is something really big when we've only spent 2 minutes building up towards it. This is the biggest threat that Sonic will have to deal with, ladies and gentlemen. A character that's been here for a whopping 30 seconds. This is the big one. This is the end game, ladies and gentlemen. This is Sonic's greatest challenge. That we're gonna, oh god, I just remembered classic Sonic's in this game too. We'll get to him later. And here we are at step one of an embarrassing descent of a character that was once a great hero, Miles Prower, aka Tails. Just step one of Sonic Force's apparent plan to just render Tails as a completely useless, helpless, cowardly individual who just, will cower in fear over egg pawns. I get it. Yeah, him cowering over Chaos Zero is bad, but here, he's cowering in fear over egg pawns. Things that would normally take one hit for him to blow up. That's making Tails cower in fear. I don't know why that Sonic team has decided to take so many of these beloved characters and just turn them into skewed, butchered versions of who they used to be. They made Shadow an asshole. They made Shadow a self-centered asshole. They made Tails a coward. They made Knuckles a moron, and they made Sonic a one-dimensional douchebag. We'll get to Knuckles and Sonic later, but it just... The way that these characters have just been paraded around, these are the characters you love, now watch them suck at everything. Just watch them, be assholes to everyone, and just watch them be terrible at everything. That's why you love them, right? Just look at Shadow be a horrible person, look at Tails be a coward, look at Sonic be a prick, look at Knuckles be stupid. You like that, right? Just Sonic Forces just cements these characters in a spanning, just a solid monument of character assassination. Because Tails is not a coward, for God's sake. As far back as Sonic Adventure 1, he stood up against Eggman by himself and stopped a missile and disarmed a missile that was gonna blow up an entire city, all by himself. Then in Sonic Adventure 2, he leads the charge to break Sonic out of prison, and it's just it makes me upset, I guess, to see these characters that I've known for so long and just you're doing something wrong when the fans know your characters more than the actual writers do, and it just confuses me as to how this happened. Because honestly, I guess Sonic Team just doesn't care anymore, because that's kind of shown with their last few games and with how they've treated their characters. And Sonic Forces, I think, just stands as the monument that just cements, all these characters you loved, look at them be the exact opposite as they're supposed to be, or skewed versions of who they were to begin with. And that's one of the many, many reasons that I hate this game, but that is the biggest one, how it treats its characters. Because those of you who know my content know that characters is one of the most important things to me when it comes to writing. And, something that I expect above all else for characters is consistency. Hey, I expect logical consistency with characters' ideals, their behavior, and their growth. I expect there to be reason for why they change, and I expect the, reasons for them to be changed, to be actual, I'm trying to think of how to word this. I'm fumbling over myself. I apologize. But basically, when it comes to character writing, I expect consistency. I expect reason. I expect reason for change. I expect reason if there's regression. I expect there to be a reason for it. This isn't even regression for Tails, because I don't remember a time he was a coward. Or before, the more modern games, anyway. And even then, Tails wasn't even that much of a coward. He was just not as brave. Here, he's outright pathetic, cowering against egg pawns, and it's embarrassing, to say the least. Tails was once a hero, and now he's cowering in the face of just a few egg pawns. I hate this game. Oh my god, look! It's everybody's favorite supervillain group! The Fan Service 4! Seriously, the only reason that any of these characters are here, Zavok notwithstanding, just ignore that guy on the right, he doesn't exist. The only reason that Metal Sonic, Shadow, and Chaos are even here is because fans love these characters, and Sonic Team was like, you know what? Let's have Infinite make fake ones so that we can have these characters in the game without actually having them in the game. Like, why would you need a fake Metal Sonic? Why would you need a fake Metal Sonic? What's the point of that? And just something that I've noticed recently when it comes to Metal Sonic in particular, when's the last time we've actually seen Metal Sonic proper in a Sonic game? Because this is something that honestly had me thinking recently. I thought about it. The last few times we've seen Metal Sonic, he's been in Sonic Mania and he's been in Sonic Boom, a spin-off and a fan game that was made canon. That's all we've gotten from Metal recently. And before that, he's only ever appeared in, like, mobile games, like Sonic... Was he even in Sonic Dash? I don't know. But basically, the last time we've actually seen Metal Sonic proper was Sonic Heroes. He wasn't in Unleashed, he wasn't in 06, he wasn't in Colors, and he had a boss fight in Sonic Generations, but I don't even think that counts. The last time Metal Sonic was actually a presence was Sonic Heroes. Back in the days of the GameCube and the PlayStation 2, my bad. And then all of a sudden we got Metal Sonic back, but it's not even the real Metal Sonic. Like, why even bother? And, like, I was super excited when I saw that Shadow and Metal Sonic and Chaos were going to be on the evil side. Like, oh, there's some extremely interesting story potential here with this. What could Shadow's reason be for siding with Eggman? Oh, Metal Sonic's back. That's awesome. Whoa, Chaos? I haven't seen him in years. What's he doing here? They're all fake. It's just... Literally, it's the fan service 4. We're starting a new supervillain team, ladies and gentlemen. And it's just embarrassing because Shadow doesn't even get a boss fight. Chaos doesn't get a boss fight. Metal gets one boss fight, but again, it's just running in a straight line and mashing the jump button. Zavok is the only one that gets a unique boss fight out of these 4 for some reason. And I don't know why. 2 out of 4 of these guys get a boss fight, and only one of them is unique. Let that sink in. And again, with Tails being useless, he sits on the sidelines as Sonic gets his ass beat. What a great friend, Tails. It's not like Tails is capable on his own. It's not like Tails can actually be strong on his own right. No, we need to make him sit on the sidelines as Sonic does the hero work, and then have Sonic get his ass beat and Tails just does nothing. Let's just have that version of Tails, because that's what people like about Tails, right? He's number 2. Nobody cares about him. Fuck off, Sonic Team. And just like that, with Sonic defeated, Eggman just takes over the world. It's not like there are other characters at play in this world that are as powerful, if not more powerful than Sonic, that could, like, maybe withstand against Eggman. No, it's just Infinite's too powerful. He's just too strong. Only Sonic can beat him. And also, I'd like to point out that in the episode Shadow Epilogue, Rouge tells Shadow, like, Eggman attacks Sonic, go save him. And then Shadow just doesn't show up. Where the hell was he? And where the hell has he been? That's never explained. Shadow just doesn't show up. He vanishes. We don't know where he is. We don't know where he's been. We don't know what he's been doing. He's just gone. Goodness sake. And again, here we go with a time skip. Just like Eggman just took over the world that easy. And it's just like, we don't get to see none of that. Nah. Like, no, we can't see Eggman take over the world. We can't see a world ruled by Eggman. We can't have a story like that. What do you mean that there's a story like that? What is this Sonic the Hedgehog cartoon you're speaking of? Sat AM? What a stupid title. No, we can't have stories about a world ruled by Eggman. We can't have stories like that. No, Archie Comics? What's that? No. We're just gonna have it look like that Eggman is taken over in one stage, because there are big Eggman robots in the background. Everywhere else looks normal, though. Just don't think about it. I hate this game. Also, look at all these characters here in this room. We got Silver, the Chaotix, and Amy. How many times has Amy interacted with the Chaotix? Like once in Sonic Heroes. How many times has Silver interacted with the Chaotix? He hasn't, outside of Espio in Sonic Rivals 2. Yeah, I'm sure you've heard of that Sonic game, one of the most popular Sonic games ever made, Sonic Rivals 2, where Silver teams up with Espio. Surely you remember that, right? This is true canon. All these characters know each other so well. And they're a ragtag team of rebels that are gonna save the world. And apparently Tails lost his mind after Sonic supposedly died. What happened? What did Tails see? We don't get to see what actually happens. We don't know what happened to Sonic. Did Infinite make an illusion to make it look like Sonic died, or did he just take him away? We don't actually see what happens. We don't know what happened from Tails' perspective. All we're told is, now Tails has gone rogue. He's insane now. It's just like, really? That's all we got? Just like, this is great story construction, guys, where you're just, the only way that we ever get the story conveyed to us is through exposition. The setup, like, we don't actually get to see this stuff play out. We're just told it through blank dialogue and exposition. Just these character positions. And even then, half of it isn't even explained. And none of it translates to gameplay either. Like, we don't actually see, like, the world, like, ruled by Eggman in this game. It's embarrassing. This is their attempt at creating a story that, like, Sonic the Hedgehog cartoon did well over, like, I want to say over 20 years ago. And even the Archie comics were doing for, like, also over 20 years. And it's just like, this is their attempt at doing a story that includes, like, a worldwide takeover from Eggman in one game that can be beaten in under 2 hours. This is pathetic. This is, like, supposed to be some sort of grand endgame story, where it's just like, we're bringing all the characters together in one place and have them fight the greatest evil they've ever known, and the world is taken over by Eggman. And it's just like, this is the way that they play out this story, by just cramming it all into one game that's not even 2 hours long. Because the cutscenes themselves only come to, like, an hour. And it's just like, and half of that is, like, just nothing. Just bullshit nothing. And it's, yeah, embarrassing is really how I would describe this. They really are milking the dead horse on this one. Also, this is something that's bothered me for a while now, is that the fact that in this game, since Tails is apparently on his own and, like, insane now, they've made Amy the tech one of the group. And it's just like, this is Amy Rose now. She's a tech coordinator for an underground resistance. Like, she's the computer one for an underground resistance, an organizer. This is Amy Rose now, because, like, that was totally set up for her character. Like, this is totally, like, it's just like, it's not character assassination, but it's definitely changing the character without an explanation. Like, they just changed Amy to be this, like, technically savvy organizer for an army, and they try to explain it in the tie-in comics, but again, that's not in the game. And even then, it's just like they're trying to construct reasons for why Amy, of all people, is like this, like, I'm not opposed to the idea of Amy becoming, like, technically savvy. I'm not saying that's the problem here. I'm saying that they did it without building up, like, without any sort of explanation for it. They didn't, like, show her growing to this. Because before now, when have we ever actually seen Amy actively in a role of being technically savvy or being, like an organizer or a leader of any kind? The closest we get is Heroes, Sonic Heroes, and even then, she's following Sonic for that entire game. That's the best we got. And it's just like, do not understand for the life of me why Amy Rose, of all people, is playing leader here. Because, like, say what you would, because, like, even the comics tried to retcon this by saying, sure, Knuckles was the figurehead, but it was really Amy who was orchestrating everything. Again, that doesn't count to the story of the game, but it's just confusing. Like, and again, with Knuckles being the leader, it's just like, I'll get to Knuckles in a second. It's just like, there's nothing in, like, the only problem with Amy being this way is the fact that they didn't actually give any kind of explanation for it. It's just that she changed into this, like, different character type, and it's just, like, not explained. And that's kind of, I don't know, that's sort of a running thing with Amy for some reason in this story now. Because, I don't know, I don't know, honestly. Because, also real quick, I also intend on doing coverage of the IDW Sonic the Hedgehog comic book series, because people like to say, like, oh, it fixes the story of Sonic Forces. Oh, it's so good. Like, the story is great. The characters are accurate now. Like, they're doing what Archie couldn't. No. The IDW comics aren't good. They're actually really bad. And I will explain that in a different video. It's just like, Sonic Forces is just an entity that is spawning so much bullshit. And the IDW comics is the first sign of how much it's gonna spread. Knuckles the Idiot playing the leader, because that's a great idea with the character that they've set up. They make Knuckles be the leader. And I'm sure some might say, well, isn't this more on character for Knuckles? No, he's still an idiot in this game. Like, when it comes to him being a strategist, like later on when he comes up with this genius plan, Operation Big Wave. I'm sure you've come up with a great strategy for this plan, Knuckles. I thought up this strategy in about a minute and a half. He's still a moron, but for some reason he's the leader. And again, getting back to the tie-in comics that you can read to explain the story. Yeah, apparently Silver found out about this catastrophe in the future, and he came back to the past to try to prevent it. And the first person that he came to was Knuckles. And by that logic, Knuckles assumes, well, since you came to me first, I have to play an important part in changing history. I'll be the leader. What an assumption to make. It's not like it was just it's automatically fate. And it's almost like Knuckles makes things even worse in this game too with his horrible strategies. But no, it had to happen this way because time travel is bullshit. And focusing on Knuckles here for a minute, very common misconception about a lot of the muscle-bound characters in the Sonic franchise. Knuckles isn't stupid. He's not a moron, unlike what Sonic Team would have you believe. He's actually really smart. It's just like Sonic Team has confused Knuckles' stupidity. Like, they've confused stupidity for ignorance, for, like, social ignorance. Because Knuckles isn't stupid. It's just the problem is that he grew up alone on an island floating in the sky, guarding a magic rock that he doesn't understand for the most formative years of his life. So yeah, somebody like that is going to struggle a bit with social interaction. It might make them look stupid, but it's just from a lack of experience, not a lack of intelligence. This is who Knuckles is. He's not a moron. He just doesn't understand certain social stigmas. Like, if he'll say something that's kind of hurtful unintentionally, or doesn't pick up on sarcasm, or is gullible, that's because he doesn't understand the concepts of social interaction, because again, he grew up on an island alone. And to survive all that time, he'd have to be pretty damn smart, too. So, no, Knuckles isn't stupid, but because he's the strong one, we gotta make him dumb. Because that's funny, right? It's really funny to have our characters be incompetent and just be morons. And also, this little line right here, happy to see you're all still alive. This game does not have a tone. This game does not have any semblance of consistent tone. It is embarrassing, honestly. Like, that's how I describe this game. It's embarrassing and incompetent. They just make it seem like this game has some sort of dark and gritty tone, but then, like, the next scene, we're gonna have, like, well, hey, yeah, Baldy McNose here. What's up, Eggman? I'm gonna do something stupid because I'm Sonic the Hedgehog, and that's my name and my game. Just like, please, make it stop. Please make it stop. Also, we're like 10 minutes into the story, and this is like the third time Green Hill has been mentioned. Please, get some consistent world building in this franchise. That's all I ask. Actually, I ask of a lot of things here, but that's baby steps, I guess. Also, I'm 50 minutes in, and I'm not even halfway through the cutscenes. Jesus Christ. This is probably going to end up being a multi-parter. Again, I'm sorry. That's just, I ramble. I have a problem. Hey. Also, just to make a point here, I'm not going to be talking a whole lot about the original character because again, it's a self-insert. There really isn't a whole lot I can say other than the obvious. It's a Mary Sue / Gary Stu because they're just good at everything. And they save the world, and it's just like everybody loves them. Even the bad guy is just like, I remember you. You're stronger than I took credit for. It's just like, there really isn't a whole lot I can say about the Avatar character that's really substantial. Because again, it's a blank slate meant for the player to post their own personality onto. So there really isn't anything I can say about that. Other than, again, the obvious Mary Sue, Gary Stu self-insert character. That's about all I got. Alright, let's look at the timestamp for the video real quick. We are 4 minutes and 30 seconds into the actual game cutscenes outside of the epilogue, and Sonic's already alive. Wow, we were under the impression he was dead for not even one stage. This is just revealed to you like the instant after that cutscene we just watched. Sonic wasn't even dead for a whopping 2 minutes. He's alive. And that's just like, the characters wouldn't find that out later on in the story. Like, no, we just need to reveal it now because we can't have kids thinking Sonic's dead. We killed him once before in 06. Didn't go over too well. Just like, what? Obviously Sonic wasn't dead, but at least, like, let the characters try to... Like, at least let the characters try to come into their own in this aspect. Like, let the Avatar try to stand on their own 2 feet before you thrust Sonic back into the mix. Like, come on. Let other characters get some time in the spotlight before you shove Sonic back in. Like, this is, like, the opportunity to, like, reintroduce some characters back into the gameplay scene. Like, Knuckles and Tails, who haven't been playable for a long time now. Like, how great would that have been if Classic Sonic was replaced with Tails and the Avatar was replaced with Knuckles? That would have been great. We could see the old trio fighting alongside each other again. But no, we have Sonic and blank slate. Because Sonic teams like, oh, we need Classic Sonic because people loved Generations. Obviously, it was because of Classic Sonic. And we need an Avatar because original characters meme. This game doesn't have a spine. It's just like, they played it way too safe, but at the same time they played it way too safe. They didn't bother to try anything like daring with this game. It's just like recycle formula, but water it down. So that the most that people can say about the gameplay is that it's mediocre. And then when it comes to the story, they're just like, let's just throw darts at a dartboard. Sonic dies, okay. Edgy villain, alright. New MacGuffin crystal thing, sure. Delegate the side all the side characters have to be, like, relegated to cutscenes. We can't play as them. That's just a necessity in Sonic Team now. You can't play as Tails anymore. You can't play as Knuckles, and you'll never be able to play as Silver again. Sonic is trapped in a solitary confinement cell, and Eggman has been torturing him for months. keep that in mind. I'm not done with it yet. Also, here's Tails, and what a missed opportunity. Tails and Omega have, like, never interacted in almost any Sonic medium. And here we had an opportunity for Tails and Omega to actually team up. How cool would that have been if they reintroduced Omega as a playable character alongside Tails? That would have been a really interesting dynamic seeing the two of them work together, considering we've never seen the two of them really interact. But no, we have to have Omega be here, destroyed, supposedly, but he looks only a little rusty, and then he just comes back in the final cutscene and does nothing. Talk about getting drafted to the sidelines. Poor Omega doesn't get anything, and we literally haven't seen him since 06. Like, he hasn't been anywhere, even as a side character, and here he's a side character. Oh yeah, Tails cowering in fear from Chaos Zero, like... He beat Chaos 4. He fought Chaos 4, for God's sake. In Chaos Zero, it's like, nope, too much for me. Can't deal. I'm a coward. And here comes the hero of the story, ladies and gentlemen. It's classic Sonic, everybody. Everybody hates the new Sonic, so we have to bring back the old one. Again. You guys love him, right? Right? Well, let's just have a retcon of Sonic Generations where they said that they were traveling through time and space and that classic Sonic was Sonic's past self. But no, we can't have that. We have to have it be an alternate dimension because classic Sonic is a completely different entity from modern Sonic now because everybody hates modern Sonic. We need to leave the classic one untouched. And just this is our damage control. We have to bring in the one people love so that they'll buy our game. And again, like I said, like near the beginning of the video, continuity is used very loosely in this franchise. Also, you could literally take Classic Sonic out of this story and like nothing changes. Just replace him with Tails, because just have Tails step into his own again. Just have that happen. Have him have to go on a solo journey again like he did in Adventure 1. He can be his own hero again. Or, like, just... It's just like, the fan service 4 are gonna have some competition from Classic Sonic here, because literally the only reason he's here is to slap him on the box and make people buy more copies of this game. And he's so out of place in this story, like, he doesn't have any part in it, outside of just being there. Honestly, I forgot he was in this game. Good riddance, too. We don't need Classic Sonic. Again, just stop. Stop it. Just make a good modern Sonic game again. Don't keep shoehorning in the old Sonic. God's sake. Also, Classic Sonic has no idea what's going on right now, but is just very quick to accept, like, wait a second, did I die? Just like, why are you talking about me in this past tense sense? Did I die in the future? What happened? And also, this whole scene was just exposition, like, trust us, it makes sense that Classic Sonic's here, because Sonic Mania, he went into a portal, and he showed up here, and gave Chaos Zero a good boot to the head, and Chaos just doesn't show up again. It makes sense, trust us. And you know what, I think that that's a good stopping place for part 1 with Classic Sonic's introduction, because this is definitely going to be a multi-parter rant. I just wanted to come back with a rant that lit a fire under my ass just as much as Steven Universe and Avengers Endgame. And don't misunderstand me, I'm not abandoning Steven Universe as a concept. I have plans for Steven Universe-based content in the near future. I also plan on making more MCU content and other videos on other things. But Sonic Forces was just something that I thought would be a good catalyst for me to basically launchpad myself into talking about the IDW comic series, because I got a lot to say about those comics and thought this could be a good segue. But anyway, that does it for Sonic Forces Rant/Critique Part 1. Thank you all so much for clicking on this video and for coming back. I'm sorry again for the long wait. Hopefully it won't be as long a wait between parts 1 and 2. But anyway, thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you next time. Goodbye.